right, let's talk a little weather now, shall we? On this Tuesday, Chief Meteorologist Ashley Brown joining us now because we could be getting some winter weather, more winter weather heading our way, Ashley.
Absolutely. Winter weather advisories out for our area. So if you have the Storm Track 8 app, if you've been checking out our Facebook page or Twitter, you probably noticed that there are lots of advisories out there, right? But I want to explain that that's two different situations. First, let's look at the radar. Radar showing some activity here. You see the snow shower activity falling from Seymour to Salem. This is some pretty good snow, right? It's falling at a pretty good clip. We talked about this system yesterday, staying mainly south. That's exactly how it's played out. There's a winter weather advisory here that's set to expire at 11 p.m. tonight. The next advisory for areas north is for our next system that comes our way tomorrow. All right, so pretty quiet for much of the state right now. We look at the system sitting to the south of us that's moving out. Over the next several hours, we see less and less coverage of the snow activity. We'll see drier air begin to work in, colder air beginning to sink in here, and then we'll set you up for our next system. Outside, we are mostly cloudy. Our current condition, our temperature at 35 degrees for Indy, you're at 34 to the south in Evansville. Tonight's forecast, we're going to go from the 30s to the 20s. It's going to feel like the 20s. All right, I'm going to take a little time to explain our next system because it's going to take exactly that. So tomorrow, as you're sending the kids out to the bus stop, things are pretty quiet for the most part. We're cloudy and we're cold. At most, some patchy drizzle, but tomorrow morning, mainly dry. It's not until the afternoon hours that we see this system move in. Futurecast confirming exactly that the morning's quiet. You'll see a little bit on this map, letting me know that some drizzle is possible. By about noon, precipitation begins to arrive in the state. It becomes more widespread as we go hour by hour, and by 1 p.m., I think much of the state starting to deal with precipitation, whether it's rain, snow, or even freezing rain. It's all with us. And at 1 p.m., what it looks like for us is to see this system move through as mainly rain, a bit of a wintry mix in some locations. And I'm going to go back to that so you can see that. Once again, mainly rain, a wintry mix in some locations, and also dealing with, of course, the snow shower activity that will sit to the north of us. So it is an active system that will come our way. As we look at the following system, once we get to around 2-3 p.m., this system is showing more rain, some mixing still happening for us for areas mainly to the north, and mainly snow. So when we talk about through 5 p.m. what you can expect, this is where conditions I think become slick in spots, because at 5 p.m. we're still dealing with a wintry mix to even some ice accumulation, less than 1/10 of an inch for most locations at this point. Heavy snowfall accumulation happening from South Bend over into Chicago, and if you're along and south of Interstate 70, a mainly rain event. As we talk about snowfall accumulation, by 5 p.m. if you're leaving work at that time, we're talking 1 to 3 inches on the ground for areas north of Lafayette. Most of us dealing with, of course, the rain and the wintry mix. Ice accumulation at that point of about 1/10 of an inch from Indianapolis to Kokomo. So possible to see some slick conditions for the evening commute. It will not be a widespread issue, but definitely slick conditions in spots. And when we go through about 8 p.m., if you're leaving work later, at this point, the wintry mix begins to lift north, mainly rain for areas along and south of Interstate 70. And that snow still coming down heavy for areas to the north from South Bend over into Chicago there. At that point, we're talking 4 or 5 inch totals for areas around Lafayette to Kokomo and areas north. And I think if you're around Gary, we're talking about 6+ inch totals in many locations as this system winds down and moves out. Overnight, by 1-2 a.m., the system out of here. What it leaves behind is colder conditions with temperatures in the mid-30s, of course, falling to the 20s. Thursday will be a colder day with a chance of scattered flurries, 28 as a high temperature. We're back to tracking a wintry mix over the weekend with mainly rain and some snow moving in late on Saturday that will linger into the day on Sunday as much colder air settles in.